What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Laz Jr. Do me one favor, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel. I would gladly appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button because it helps the algorithm. Without further ado, we're going to get into this video. Ladies on a panel talking about feminism and all sorts of kind of things. Let's get into it.
I think that depends on the definition of feminism. I strongly think that feminism is more of an action than an identity. I would say it's uplifting all women, in which case it's very
That's a
alive.
man.
At the same time, if we do follow that definition, feminism has splintered
Trans
off
man,
into so
right there.
many different areas that you can look at people like Sheryl Sandberg who say you should just get another nanny if you feel oppressed. And if we're talking about that kind of feminism, yeah, it's pretty dead.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the human race exists, feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're always going to have to strive and work towards to make sure that there's equality. So feminism is not dead.
I don't know that it can die. As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people fighting for equity. And until that somehow goes away, feminism is alive and well.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism is really about women wanting special privileges and treatment
You're right.
at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
Yep.
I think feminism is also alive and well. There are different kinds of feminism, right? Like, that is obvious. And for me, as a womanist, as a Black feminist, right, as someone who's really thinking about human rights, dignity, right, equity, right, as long as that need isn't met, we're still gonna keep fighting.
I'd say it's alive and well. I'd say that it's also very nuanced, and I think what it looks like is going to differ
Another
depending on where you
man,
are in the world.
trans man.
For me, I just see it as a lens, which isn't necessarily antagonistic or protagonistic. It's just a useful tool.
Similar to what Pearl just said, I find that a lot of feminist ideology and thought today feels more of like a supremacist movement rather than something that is supposed to be advancing the goals of equality. I don't think that we can really.
I'm trying to find out why they have men on the panel. Biological men on the panel full of women. Why? Let's get back into it.
Term what's going on as feminism because it looks so different to, I think, the earlier feminist movements. So in that way, I would say it's taken its last breaths of life. It's dying.
Yeah, I definitely think it's getting more and more radicalized, for sure. So it's definitely still alive.
I think I'll preface and say that I don't know so much about modern Western feminism, and there might be a lot of terms that I don't know, like political jargon and stuff. But I believe in the advancement of women, whoever considers themselves a woman. I think there's a deficiency in society. So it's deeply rooted that feminism has always
Considers
existed.
themselves a woman.
I think America's a little obsessed with themselves, and it's like always feminism is rooted in America. And like, oh, white women started it. And it's kind of offensive because for thousands of years, women have been dying for their rights.
I think as a Black woman specifically, when you talk about feminism, yeah, the mainstream first thing you think about is a certain type of feminism that tends to exclude still, even today, even with intersectional feminism, exclude African-American women, and it's always kind of done that. And also like, upper middle class white women has predominantly been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism.
I think feminism is attempting to say, okay, the first thing we agree on is that there are barriers and friction to what I need and what I want based on the fact that I'm a woman. What it ignores is that, and what privilege is that you may not have to think that being a woman and being a Black woman and being a Black woman who has a disability, for example, impacts you further. You have more barriers, you have more friction, you are less able to get what you want. You're undervalued in a way that's like, okay, well, you know, that's life. That's what I mean by equity, and that we're able to, without friction, all get the same needs met.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, see, I disagree with that. I think life is easier if you're a girl, actually.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of
advantage.
benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like, honestly, I think as a girl, you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits. Like, for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah, I would say it's easier being a girl.
Just from a viewpoint over here, though, it seems there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying, and that you're white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present in a way that beauty standards have accepted. And so
They call me ugly on the internet.
Wow, man, this woman said that you're white and pretty privileged. And the other woman said that women have been oppressed for thousands of years. And or whatever the case, whatever she said. I'm going to try to get through as much as I can, but let's get back into it. Oh, my goodness.
All the time. They be roasting me daily, I swear to God.
I don't mean to say I think you're gorge. I just mean that there a certain value that we give to certain bodies.
I mean, let's also dig into why these quotas exist and why these, what you're calling
because
privileges
we want
exist.
special treatment.
No, it's because there have historically and presently in most jobs been fewer women, and because of sexism.
How is it sexism when we have no barriers today? So we can pick what we want to pick.
Who doesn't have barriers?
Women don't have barriers?
Women, yeah.
No,
What's
we
stopping
have no
you? You can do
barriers.
whatever you want.
I can
you?
or you can?
What's stopping you?
Oh, my goodness.
As a woman,
this
as a
lady,
woman.
dude.
As a woman.
As a woman, as a woman.
That ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability. So there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, as I
you don't
said
have to
before, I'm
think about.
speaking about women. I'm not.
You're
I'm
speaking
not,
you're speaking for yourself.
You're speaking as
an able-bodied white woman.
I
This
understand.
represents white.
Of course, there's going to be other barriers if you're disabled. I'm sure. Like
You know, it's so sad that they don't get it. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're just so far into their mind they believe all these things that they think about. Pearlie asked the question: what barriers? What's stopping you? She don't know because it doesn't exist. Then she said, you're speaking for yourself. No, in general. She asked a question. And a lot of these women that's on the panel, they can't stay on topic. They veer off. Stay on topic. Let's get back into it.
I'm talking about as a woman.
So you're just going to ignore
White
the
women
pay
have it
gap.
easier. Yes, I would agree.
What?
You're just going to ignore the pay gap, regulation over bodies.
Pay gap has been disproven
the
and
pay gap
debunked
doesn't
endlessly,
exist.
my friend.
It doesn't.
that's so
It's
funny.
the industries that women pick.
Let's talk about it.
There's a pay gap, but it's because women don't want to do the hardest industries.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that's an oversimplification. I think the fact of the matter is that women structure their lives differently to men. Men don't give birth. Men don't have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver most of the time. Women also don't hold jobs for as long as men do. They often will stop and start. They'll go back into work. They'll take time off. They'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
Two things. First of all, let's dig into why they think that they should take these jobs, which is societal sexism. And then also, Department of Labor, all statistics, at least speaking in the U.S., have found that when compared for the same jobs, there still is a pay gap, particularly when it pertains to race.
Because 60% of women have never asked for a raise. So how can you complain about your pay if you don't ask?
Why are they not?
Wait, what happens when women ask for a raise?
Sorry, I've been wanting to say something, but I want to be respectful. I don't want to interrupt people, and I want to let them finish their thoughts.
Jump in,
But
go through the wall.
It is a very privileged label, right, to be able to say that you're feminist, right? And I say that because I come from a working class background of Dominican immigrant parents. My mother would not necessarily identify as a feminist. I look to my mother, and I do think of her as a feminist. A lot of my ideas and my empowerment comes from seeing her survive and put food on the table. When I'm thinking about feminism, I'm always thinking about who's not part of the conversation. What are the barriers? How do we think about equity? How do we think about self-empowerment and agency and having a voice, right, and having choice?
Please tell me.
And thinking about our basic human rights, education, access to health, homes, having bread, having food, and those things are very important, right? And they're at the crux, right, of what a lot of us here know that we need. It's there are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore that are very much systemic and microaggressive, right? We see them and experience them every day.
Like what in the U.S.? Like what?
What would you like to know an example of? So be
I know
specific.
you said that there's like barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color? Let's be specific.
goodness.
As a woman, I
And
said
we
as a
don't.
woman.
Well, no, I can't answer
She
as a
had to
woman.
throw the
I'm
race
just
I feel
part
like
in
your
there.
question is
right?
kind of
As
hostile
a
when you're like,
woman.
there are
woman.
no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have a privilege where you're not facing any friction, and that's
Unbelievable,
showing. And
man.
I feel like it's
I think
like
as an American, I think
ignoring-
as an American,
She asked one simple question. What are the barriers? They can't name the barriers because they don't know. They don't know. Oh my goodness. And they talk about it's different kinds of feminism. No, it's one. One. Not many. Oh my goodness.
I think women want to sleep around and not have any consequence for it.
Hell yeah, we do.
Yeah, instead
Says
of
the man.
taking personal accountability and being on birth control, they just want to like do whatever they want.
Crickets.
Say this like it's a bad
flipping.
thing.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like you said.
Can I also ask, do you have any care to empower women, or is disempowering women part of your like steez?
To see this as shame, insult, guilt, need to be right. Okay. Why is it empowering to sleep around?
No,
Why is
what
that
I'm saying
empowering?
is like I feel like you do like take like the
Why
way
is
you
it
speak on
disempowering?
women is very sort of like women just don't want to do this. Women just don't have this. Women just wanted this.
maybe I should
And I
change my
wonder
term. Maybe
why
I
you
should
have
say-
so much like hatred towards
I
women.
don't hate
Where does
women.
that root in? It
I don't
sounds
hate
like
women.
you do.
I am.
Prime example. Prime example of what she said. Why do you hate women? And she's telling the truth and she's keeping it real. Why? Because she's done the research. What she's saying is true. What Pearly is saying is true. This is ridiculous, man. Oh my goodness, man. My goodness. They're saying a whole bunch of things, and a lot of these women can't back up what they're saying. They're just talking, saying things. Where is the research? Where is the proof? It's real simple. My goodness. They can't even stay on topic yet again.
Woman. I
That doesn't
don't.
mean you don't have
I could be
self-hate.
black and still be
Exactly.
internalized racism.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm saying
her.
specific things that you're saying, like women don't want to work, women don't want to this, women want to sleep around. Where did you learn these belief systems from?
Because the question was why does abortion keep getting brought up? 40% of women that have had abortions have had 2 or more. 40%.
Good for
so
them.
So what does that say to me? That means you're using it as a form of birth control.
Wow. Yep, that's right. Using it as form of birth control. And this lady's talking about some good for them. Good for them. Oh my goodness. Pearly, she got to where she's got to because she knows what she's talking about. Oh my goodness. Let's get back into it.
And they don't track the 60%.
What
to
kind
see-
of
Can you let
abortions?
me finish? They don't track the 60% to say who in the future
kind
has
of
abortion. So to me, it's like, why are they dying so hard for abortion? They want to sleep around with no consequences, even though you have 41 forms of birth control.
Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yes, they're women. What's the question?
Wow.
Pearl, I see
Trans
your
women are
hand.
women.
No, they're not. They're men.
So I want to come at this from the
That's why they call
position of an
they're called
athlete.
trans women.
So I play
Transitioning
semi-pro
from a man
basketball,
to a
semi-pro
woman.
volleyball. So when it comes to like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces because I don't think it's a fair. I think as
Agreed.
female athletes, we work so incredibly hard for the little opportunity there is in women's sports.
Would this be a
like,
barrier for
like
you?
this, there's no barrier. There's less opportunity in some industries.
That's what
one
a
of them.
barrier is.
There's less. It's not. No. It's
That's
based
what
on the
friction
market.
means.
Okay.
Hold
it's
on,
based
hold on,
it's
guys,
ba-
let's-
Okay. So again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. And so it's like you're gonna take the little opportunity that we're given. And the problem is like, we can't compete. We can't. Like, I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me.
And what happens if I go up against you?
Even
Hold on. Body me.
Unbelievable. She's telling the straight up truth, and these women, they just can't handle it. They can't handle it. That's really what it is. My goodness.
Hold on.
Even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for, and you're just giving it back to biological guys. It's like this will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli, hold on, Minnie.
Sorry,
Eli.
confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches.
I don't
Confidence can't
understand why
make
you
me
guys
6'7".
are so hostile. She's sharing her
And confidence
experience
can't make
in
me
a
6'7".
specific
No, she's
field.
showing
And
trans
I'd have to
misogyny.
go.
No, she's
yeah.
not. She's a woman who's had an
No, it's always-
experience.
it's always- it's
One
always
at a
the
time.
You guys
We
are
let
so
Pearl
obsessed with your
finish.
own experiences and your own existence, and yet when a woman is sitting here telling you, I feel as though this is unfair and this is compromising and this situation is not helping women, you guys are like, meh, meh, meh. But when you're like, I'm a black person that did this, 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 and this, then it's valid and fair and viable.
Exactly. What she's saying is right. Listen, man, I had enough. I touched on this. I can't take no more. Pearly, hey, she did her thing, man. She kept it real. The lady that's talking right now, she did her thing too. I like them too. Out of the bunch of the other women, it's just what it is. Excuse me. It is what it is. Please comment. I would love to know what you guys think about this panel of mostly women and the 2 men that are trans men. Please comment. I'm out. God bless.